Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to do another comparison video, one that was requested by a subscriber asking to compare and answer which one is the best EV stock to buy. Is it Rivian, NIO, Li Auto, or XPeng? So that's what I'll be doing in this video, looking at revenue, valuation, profitability to answer which one is the better buy. So let's get right into it, starting with revenue. And looking at this metric, you can see Li Auto jumping ahead here in the most recent 12 months with quarterly revenue of 4 billion in its latest update, jumping over all the others when it was right in the middle of the pack in 2020, 2021, 2022, and then it made the big leap forward. And the rest are kind of similar. You look at NIO and Rivian, they've both done a good job. NIO at 1.5 billion, Rivian at 1.12 billion, and then XPeng the lowest in terms of quarterly revenue at 589 million. So after that, let's look at operating income, right? Because it's easy to make sales if you're willing to sell your product at lower prices and absorb losses on the bottom line. And thankfully, Li Auto has made tremendous progress in this front as well. And this is looking at operating income over the trailing 12 months. Li Auto at negative 38 million is the best out of the bunch, but in its latest quarter, just one quarter, it was profitable on the bottom line. So I would, if it continues at this pace, which it looks like it will be, I wouldn't be surprised if Li Auto is positive in this metric in the next 2 quarters or so. XPeng lost 1.366 billion as it's still investing in growth aggressively. Same with NIO at negative 2.7 billion in operating losses over the trailing 12 months. Rivian has turned the corner and is at least going in the right direction in terms of lowering these losses, but the biggest losses here from all of these four, Rivian losing 6.3 billion in operating income in its latest quarter. Next, I also wanted to look at these companies' total assets. I want to look at their base of foundation that they've built. Total assets includes their manufacturing facilities and inventory and cash on hand. So we're incorporating all of that, seeing what the company has acquired and built so far altogether. And Rivian is the most here with 17.88 billion. A lot of that is cash. Rivian has a big balance. I believe last I checked was over 12 billion of this was just in cash. And so they've built a nice cash pile that they can then invest in growing their manufacturing. NIO also not too bad with 14 billion in total assets, Li Auto at 12.5 billion in total assets, and XPeng at 10 billion in total assets. What stands out at me here is that Li Auto, with total assets of around 12.5 billion, has done a good job utilizing those assets, right? Because all of these companies have roughly the same amount of assets. Rivian and NIO, in fact, have more assets than Li Auto, but they're behind in terms of turning those assets into revenue and progress on profitability. So Li Auto really demonstrating effectiveness here, not just progress in terms of sales and profitability. So finally, I wanted to look at valuation. It seems to me so far that Li Auto is the better performer out of the companies. What I want to see here in valuation is the stock very much more expensive than all the others? And the answer is no. Li Auto's valuation, judging by a forward price to sales ratio, is in the middle of the pack at 1.8. In fact, Rivian is the most expensive at a forward price to sales of 2.8. Then you have XPeng at 1.9 and NIO at 1.6. It makes a little bit sense that Rivian, the American company, is priced a little bit more expensive because it doesn't come with the geographic risk. I know investors are a little bit hesitant to invest in stocks based in China because they're a bit fearful in the government's relationship with business over there, and so there is an added degree of risk to that. And so you would expect a premium valuation to a non-Chinese based business with Rivian, as is noticeable here. But still, even given that risk, I still like Li Auto. If I had to pick one of these four EV stocks to buy, I would pick Li Auto. That would be my choice among these four EV companies right now. But that's all I've got for this video. Again, thank you so much for making this request. Thank you so much for watching as well. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.